British cask ale is steeped in tradition, but as younger drinkers move more to canned cocktails and craft lagers, sales of cask ale are on the decline. And a grassroots petition is calling on the government to nominate it for UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage status. Well, joining us now is Greg Pilley. He's the managing director and founder of Stroud Brewery and focuses on cask ale. Greg, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thanks for giving us your time, Greg.
No worries.
Cask ale, I would have thought, because it's not competing with lagers and supermarkets, I don't think you can get cask ale in a supermarket, would have been doing well out of the competition at the moment in drinks, in pubs.
You know what? The problem isn't the beer itself. The beer is very popular. It's a great drink. There's a lot of appreciators of cask beer. The trouble is the pressure on the places we drink it at, and that is the traditional pub.
Right.
And the current sort of economy, legislation, policy, and a whole host of things, including the pub tie, make it very difficult and expensive to serve cask ale in those pubs. So it's pressure on the pubs more than the beer itself.
Now, you've set up a petition which has currently got just over 10,000 signatures, I believe?
Sure. I didn't set it up, but I'm a supporter of it.
You're a supporter, yeah.
I'm pleased to see it's doing well.
There is a petition out there. What will UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage status do for cask ale?
Well, the main thing is to protect the places that it's served from and the traditions and the skills that's required to serve it. But the main thing is just recognizing that our pub culture is unique. It just doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. It is unique to the UK. And it's sort of our cultural answer to serving great tasting beer pre-industrial times, and therefore without refrigeration, without the need for extra carbon dioxide. It's in bulk in the pub, and therefore it's probably the most sustainable way of drinking beer. So even for that, it's worth preserving.
Is there a problem in the change of tastes? You have younger drinkers who are often choosing non-alcoholic drinks. They're attracted to canned fizzy drinks. Is there an issue that perhaps cask ale is a bit too old-fashioned for younger drinkers? Can I say that?
It's certainly a preconception, but that's not our experience. You know, as a drink, it's quite diverse itself. There's so many different styles, and we see drinkers of all ages, different sexes, different places, enjoying a pint. You know, there is a beer for everyone. And indeed, you know, we don't all drink beer at every occasion. You know, every drink has its place, and the pub certainly has its place. It's certainly true that younger generations are drinking less. I think we're recognizing that actually drinking a little less alcohol is better for our health. So that is an ongoing trend. But in the long term, if you are going to have a drink, what better than going to a pub, sitting in a pub garden and having a pint of cask beer?
Greg, I think for many people, the idea of where the things they consume, whether they drink or food as well, where that comes from, how far is it travelled, is it sustainable, that is beginning to be a big concern. And perhaps that's an area where cask ale really does have an advantage over everything else because it's very, very local. That's
true. I think people don't realise, you know, the balance between independent breweries and global multinationals. The independent craft brewers are actually seeing a rise in their cask beer, and people are choosing local cask beer. And you're absolutely right. Provenance, sustainability. Stroud Brewery is a dedicated organic brewery, just one of a handful out of thousands of breweries in the UK. And we also do our best to source local organic malt as well. So there's an impact in our local landscape. And I think people are becoming more discerning and looking out for these things. There's other values in the pint than just a good tasting pint of beer.
We were speaking last weekend to James May, former Top Gear presenter and TV host. He was talking as we went to his pub in Wiltshire, and he was describing how difficult it is for pubs, particularly pubs that are owned by breweries. But he was describing how difficult it is for pubs to keep the prices of the pints down, whilst at the same time paying their staff fairly. How does the government help the British pub and therefore also help cask ales?
Well, there's several ways. I mean, the main tool for that is duty. All alcohol producers pay duty. A couple of years ago, actually, the government introduced a difference between bulk packaged beer, so cask and keg, versus small pack beer, cans and bottles. And actually, I'd like to see a greater differential between draft beer in a pub and a can that you buy at home. And that it sort of balances the price between a supermarket and a pub. 20 years ago, something like that, we were paying maybe twice as much to buy a drink from a supermarket than drinking in a pub. And now it's between 4 and 5 times more expensive to have a pint than it is to buy a can from the supermarket. And that's not just duty, because there's the same duty on those things. There's a whole raft of other things as well, including sort of supermarket policy on alcohol, and also that they stock, high volume global brands rather than independent small scale brewery brands, which do cost a bit more, and there's a lot more that goes into them.
Mm. Well, look, so far we know that Belgian beer, for example, has that UNESCO protection. So has the French baguette. Are you hopeful that you can get UNESCO to add cask ales?
Well, I think it's more about awareness. And now, if Belgian beer can do it, there's absolutely no reason why UK cask beer can, because it is unique and as unique as Belgian beers, and so therefore it definitely deserves it.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. Really, really good to talk to you, Greg. Thanks for joining us.
Brilliant. No worries. It's nice to be on the show.
Greg Pilley there, Managing Director and founder of Stroud Brewery, focusing on cask ale. If you read a really, really informative piece, as you would expect, on the Times website, and there's also a link to that petition. So if you want to support cask ale and you want the government to try and get that UNESCO recognition for cask ale and help the cask ale manufacturers, the brewers, then do go on, have a read of the article at the very bottom, click on the link and proceed to sign it. Now, coming up, we're going to be celebrating the best of